And talk about an ass-kicking lead protagonist. Fwah.
Here's the montage.
Yep. Oh, there he is.
Oh, my.
Oh, yeah. It was nice, you know. So often it was just sexy women in video games, and this is the first time I felt like
I'm man enough to admit he's dreamy.
He is dreamy.
He's dreamy.
He is dreamy. Hi, I'm Barjo.
And I'm Hex.
And today we're checking out our old good game review of The Witcher 2, which I don't remember a lot about, but I know it's a huge departure from 1. It felt like a much bigger game.
Yeah, but it wasn't that kind of big open world epic that 3 would become. But I just remember seeing the box art at the time, and I hadn't played the first Witcher. I just saw this and was like, this looks like a game that I will love.
Yeah.
And it ended up becoming my favorite game, I think, until The Witcher 3. And it was where I fell in love with Triss.
Well, let's see that love now.
The Witcher was a game based on a series of books by Polish author Andrzej Sapkowski and followed the story of Geralt of Rivia, one of the few remaining witches who are kind of like superhuman monster hunters with cat-like eyes. I played a bit of the first game, but it was one of those beasts that I never really tamed, and so going into The Witcher 2, Assassins of Kings...
First game was so clunky.
I remember it being a bit clunky.
I tried.
Yeah.
You kind of have to piece together the relationships you developed in the first game.
Oh god, all these scenes are still so fresh in my mind.
Protecting the king when all of a sudden the king is assassinated and you are the only suspect. You then set out to track down the true killer and clear your
Well,
name.
my PC in these days was like not up to the task.
It was a particularly PC heavy game from memory.
It was resource
Yeah.
intensive, and I just did not have what I needed then.
I think this is quite possibly one of the most beautiful games I've ever played. You will need a fairly hefty rig to run it, though.
Oh, we're talking about it right there. To run it, though. Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Still looks great.
Stunning. I loved how like vibrant and
Yeah.
oversaturated it was as a world.
I have to admit, my video card was really struggling. I had to open up the side of my PC and point fans at it. And turn a bunch of settings down.
I forgot my PC was bright pink. It's so funny.
It's one of those games where you just stop in the middle of nowhere just to enjoy the view. Oh, it looks so good.
After this, I think, did you get into all the books and everything after this? Like, you got really into the whole series, or was it the third one that got you into all that?
No, I read the books before the third one, but I think only 2 had been translated from Polish at that point.
Right.
So this was
Here's the montage.
yeah. Oh, there he
Oh,
is.
my.
Oh yeah. It was nice, you know. So often it was just sexy women in video
Yeah.
games, and this is the first time I felt like
I'm man enough to admit he's dreamy.
man enough
He is
to admit
dreamy.
He's dreamy.
He is dreamy.
This is the first time I felt like it was just like, I don't know. It was sexy both ways.
Yeah.
But because he was a male protagonist, he spent a lot of time with his shirt off. It was
Yeah.
great.
Your quest path isn't obvious, so if you've got to kill a monster or something, you'll really have to explore and investigate the surrounding areas just to find it.
Yeah, that's right.
Cave behind a waterfall. That's how you do it in fantasy.
It wasn't always obvious what you had to do. It really took some exploring and some
Yeah.
thinking about the quest.
And the game did some good telegraphing. Like if you're in a I remember there was a boss fight with a Kraken early on that you had to use the Yrden
That's right, yeah.
sign to trap the tentacles so that you could then attack them. And it was explaining for you to do that, but it was like invisible walls.
Once I plugged in my wireless dongle, I just could not go back to that keyboard.
Was that the first time
Might have been
we
my
saw
first wireless
the first
dongle.
dongle
Yeah.
shot?
And they have a damage modifier attached.
Unless that was from a previous dongle.
Wow. It was, wireless dongles went around until Witcher 2, really.
I remember the difficulty in The Witcher 2 was a little unbalanced. It was quite hard,
Yeah.
and the
you
combat
in
was
the
not
face.
was not super intuitive. So it was
Yeah.
like it was a bit frustrating. Like I always recommended that people play it on easy.
I think I preferred Witcher 3 on a lower difficulty as well. I can't remember how many it had, but I think I actually enjoyed it on a lower difficulty too.
I love the combat too, and they've completely changed the system from the first game. It's about good positioning, blocking, and trying to time your attacks right so Geralt can perform combos and finishes.
It was so cool to see that very spinny kind of
Yeah.
fencing style like that sort of Spanish.
I know what you mean, yeah.
Whirly,
I don't know the world of it, but it's the
swordplay.
word for it. But
You can't spam your way through fights because both your magic and your blocking rely on your vigor, and they're both drained from that. So if you use too much magic, then you can't block, and you have to roly-poly around until it refills. And the talent trees are massive.
There's so much loot.
This definitely, all of that stuff was improved so much in the second one. It was much simpler, more refined.
yeah, it really did feel like they sat back and said, okay, we've got a base idea of what we want this IP to be all about, but they need to modernize.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, I've pissed myself. Really scary, you idiot.
Fail, Geralt.
I remember even there was a Polish TV show that had been made of The Witcher at this point. Like
Oh, yeah?
long before Henry Cavill and before even The Witcher 3. And I was so obsessed with The Witcher that I'd watched all of the Polish TV show, which somebody had poorly transcribed
That's right, you told me this.
on
Yeah, yeah,
YouTube,
yeah.
and the subtitles for it were just really off. And there's a scene where he like walks in and there's a guy that is just like, how dare you come in here looking at me like a garbage.
Like a garbage.
It was great.
I thought the voice acting was a bit hit and miss. Geralt is American, and so are the main characters, but to me, it just made him feel like he's Kevin Costner in...
Geralt's voice is iconic, but I never liked it either that he was
Yeah.
American. I think Henry Cavill's voice is great.
Yeah.
That annoyed me as well. Although, accent aside, Geralt's voice acting didn't bother me so much. I thought it was suitably rugged and husky.
I'm tired of your whining. Get out of here.
But Triss, ugh, I hate Triss. She sounds like she's been hypnotized or is just really, really bored or tired or something.
Oh, her voice actor.
Mm.
Yeah.
Result from genetic errors that would cause your body to adapt, become a more efficient organism.
That's
Oh, yeah, awful.
Does sound a bit
heaps,
red, doesn't
she's
it?
heaps better in The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
She's heaps better in The Witcher 3.
Mind you, it can get pretty pornographic at times. Hello.
Ooh la la.
I remember this. The magic.
Look at that, look at that frame rate.
I remember it just being like, oh yeah, she, of course you would magic off your clothes if that's something that you would be able to do. A lot of people who just like love Yennefer never played The Witcher 2, and it's in The Witcher 2 that, you know, Triss really gets her moment.
Right.
She is taking advantage of the fact that Geralt has amnesia and can't remember that he loves Yennefer, but,
Yeah.
you know,
You can enter some QuickTime event fistfights or other tavern-related mini-games and quests to earn you some coin. Or you can just break into people's houses, rob them, and then stare at them creepily while they sleep.
No one has bed sheets in video games still to this day.
yeah.
No
And
one sleeps under
so
sheets.
often people be like, thank you so much for helping me. And I'd be like pulling gold and all this stuff and like looting their cupboards and everything.
Yeah,
Like,
no
yeah, no
problem.
worries. Yeah.
Oh, this whole section was great. That whole halfway through, you go through this giant battle, and
It was super unexpected.
really incredible, real change of tone, and
Yeah.
Barjo, I'm hooked. This is the perfect combination of compelling story and challenging gameplay. A truly wonderful RPG experience. I'm giving it 9.5 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Because of the impossibly high standards set by LA Noire last week with those facial animations, I couldn't help but feel like these cutscenes were last gen, but this is still a very beautiful looking game, and I just had a great time here, Hex. I think it's in the same league as Dragon Age Origins for me. It's not without its flaws, but I didn't care about the flaws, so I'm giving it 9 out of 10 rubber chickens.
yeah, nice.
Interesting.
So LA Noire had come out the week before. We'd played it the week before. So
Yeah.
everything for quite a while. Everything after that, just watching the cutscenes, and I can't see the veins in their neck. It's nowhere near as good as LA Noire.
Totally. I remember so much about the voice acting. I remember like even when we went to E3 for The Witcher 3 and we saw the preview, we had a feedback form, and I remember Janet and I both were like, Geralt should be British. And I remember specifically like Triss's voice actor was like, she always sounded like lazy and sleepy
Yeah.
and a bit like
So
a
you
bit.
wrote that in the feedback form.
No. No, but in The Witcher 2, I remember she always just sounded a bit like lazy and bored. But
Yeah.
in The Witcher 3, her voice actor is much better.
Yeah, it's such a much bigger game. Somehow, just such a bigger game.
Yeah.
So watching that now, do you think you would enjoy Witcher 2 if you went and played it now?
I don't
Right?
think so. I think it's too
Too far
old.
from 3?
Mechanically, it's too old, and it's very linear and boxy, and I guess it's like you. It would be worth playing for the story, but you'd have to kind of really suffer through some clunkiness in the mechanics and the combat, and just, you know, all of those invisible walls that was a function of those games back
That's
then,
right.
and just not having
Yeah.
the space or resources to make them as big as you wanted to.
It's incredible how quickly game tech has moved on, and even a game that's only 7, 8 years old, it's like, oh, this is so hard to play now. What a nightmare. Blows my mind still to this day. If you'd like to watch more Baju and Hex looking at our younger selves,
You can find them all over on the ABC Gamer YouTube channel.
watch how much we've aged.